Hello, people. What am I getting ready to do? What am I about to do? I'm about to start trying to straighten my hair. And while I'm straightening, I'm going to tell you a story about hair when I was a little girl. So I am using a hairbrush. Well, you know I'm getting ready for work. It's not going to be cold when I first get out there, but it's going to be cold when I get ready to leave. So I got on 2 shirts. And I'm going to wear a sweater, and my coat is kind of thick. Alright, I don't have my hair combed. I don't know what I did with it. I was looking for it. So I'm going to use my brush. And I'm going to try to take my brush and section up my hair. Alrighty now, my hair is kind of thin. It's not like it was when I was younger. When I was younger, my hair was thicker. Alright, African American hair got to be greased. Yes, it do. Greased and or oiled unless you have oil ducts. This African American don't have those ducts. So I therefore have to grease my hair. Maybe I should look just a little bit harder for the comb. I'm going to look for the comb again. Okay, so I found the comb. So as you know, I said I was going natural, which I am. I have been natural for a couple of weeks, but my hair, it has thinned out. Oops, you can't see me. But my hair has thinned out from when I was younger. I didn't notice I was standing in front of the camera and you really couldn't see me. Okay, let me turn around. Yeah. Now, let me move my arm because my arm is in the way. So, this is hot, so let me start with this one. Hair. A woman's hair. Men like to manipulate their hair too. But, alrighty now. I don't know if it's going to stay like this. And the reason why I say that is because I keep taking a shower. But I have a shower cap. But I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to use the old-fashioned paper bag until I buy a shower cap. Alrighty now. So, when we were little, my mama lived near the Rachel's projects. Now, my mama had tried to get into the projects, but for some reason, she couldn't do it. So she used to have to rent from friends and from people she had worked for. So, you know, old houses they did and things like that. So we lived near the Rachel Mix projects. And my mama was renting from somebody she went to school with. And his daddy had his parents' old house. The house used to be a septic tank house. What's a septic tank house? That's when you lift up the sink and you could see a place for hot and cold water. And when they got rid of that, they had like 2 separate septic tanks. One for the bathroom, like a trailer home. It's like a trailer home. I'm trying not to block the view. I think I gotta set this camera back some. So you can see, but at the same time, I'm not blocking the view. Let's see. Yeah. So so we live over there on 35th Street. The house we lived in been torn down, has been torn down, and a new house built in this place. The new house is nice. Yeah. It's really nice. It's a hood home. Oh man, it's nice. It's a nice hood home. And so we was living down the street from the Racial Mix Project, so we used to go over there and play, and play with everybody. And so it was this Caucasian girl we used to play with. And Joyce, she lived out there too. She lived out there. My mama's best friend, Mousy, and her daughter, Joyce. And we used to go over her house and play. And we used to play with the neighbors. So it was this Caucasian girl we used to play with. And so this is about hair, because I'm doing my hair. It was this Caucasian girl we used to play with. And I touched her hair, and she touched mine. I said, your hair feel like silk. She said, your hair feel like cotton. And I went to ask my mom about it. And so she started explaining it to me. And back then, we didn't really have a perm. Yes, we did. We did the Revlon. And you could get the Tony curl. Tony curl is like the S curl. It required a lot of oil, and African Americans didn't like it. My mama generation, she told me that. She said, yeah, African Americans didn't like it. She said, Darlene, some people seek to straighten their hair and other people seek to curl their hair. And she was telling me the difference between Caucasian and African American hair. And she was saying how African Americans seek to straighten their hair, make their hair straight like I'm doing now. And how Caucasians seek to curl their hair, make their hair curly. And so I started asking her and my grandma, why was my hair different? Why is our hair different? So my grandmother and my mom, my grandma explained it to me like this. She said, Darlene, take out a dress pattern. In the original dress pattern, all dresses are made from this pattern. And she said, all dresses are made from one pattern. Yes, that's what she said. And she said, think of coming from Africa and think of you being the original dress pattern. And in you are all the patterns come from this original dress. That's what she said to me. She said all the patterns come from this original dress. And that's why your hair is different. I said all the patterns going on. She said all of them. So I was taught that all of that. And then I went to school later on in life, and my school talked about DNA. That was when I was in grade school. They talked about DNA, just touched on it some. And I don't know what if they said that now and I guess that's what my grandma was saying, all human life starts somewhere. And she said all human life started in Africa. And all human life, after I was in school and the teacher talked about DNA, comes from Africa. We are the original. Oh, shoot. Ouch. Pattern for life on this earth. Some people, it has been proven, but some people don't accept that. But it has been proven, but because of differences and the way people was raised, and it's just like for Africa and all that kind of stuff, and this stuff is passed down from one generation to the other. They don't accept it, even though the evidence is there. They still gonna say we come from a monkey, an ape, or gorilla. That's how deep their hatred is, I guess. What they've been taught. They still say that, even though the evidence shows that all life comes from Africa, and the pattern of life comes from Africa. My mama was a naturalist. In some parts of the anatomy, naturalists don't believe in shaving. They might say, well, I don't believe in shaving under the arms. I don't believe in shaving the legs. I don't believe in shaving, right? In some part of anatomy, they will tell you, don't shave. And I used to shave my arms. That was before I got eczema. And my legs. And then I said, well, I plucked my eyebrows, and then said, Mama, I want to shave under my arms. She said, no, don't shave under your arms. Don't shave under your arms. The hair under your arm is meant for friction. So when dealing with a naturalist, their children always going to come out like that, saying that there's a part of their anatomy they can't shave. It could be their legs. It could be anywhere, It could be their legs, their arms. And they're going to be right when they talk about it. They're not going to just be saying it. Oh, righty now. And she said to me, it's a lot of things you could do with your hair, Darlene. See, the thing about keeping your hair natural, that's what she was saying. You can straighten it, you can braid it, you can do a whole lot of different things with it, that if your hair wasn't natural, you couldn't do it. Well, she didn't like perms, so she'll tell you perms give you brain cancer. some people don't believe in manipulating their hair anyway. They wouldn't do what I'm doing now. They wouldn't straighten their hair. No, they wouldn't. Well, I'm different. I believe in straightening my hair. And some naturalists do nothing to their hair. They just comb out when I was little. Those Christian naturalists used to just comb their hair back in a bun. I didn't know I was going to be one. No, I didn't. I didn't know I would be a Christian naturalist for all of me. But I won't. They did believe in straightening and perming your hair. But, you know, the naturalists, they just comb your hair back in a bun. I should have parted my hair in fours. Yeah, that's what I should have did. But I didn't do it this time. Next time I do it, I'm going to part my hair in 4 pieces and show you how my mama used to do it. She will part your hair in 4 pieces and then plait it. No, my mama didn't braid hair. That was my older sister generation. And my mama braided no hair. She just plait and straightened. My older sister generation, they came in and did our hair in braids. Viola, yeah, my older sister friend, her friend Viola. My sister's double friend Viola. She would come there and just take our hair and braid it. She braided my hair sometimes. She braided Brenda hair and my hair. I wanted to tell you that story. You know, that was something my grandma told me. Oh boy, who knew it would be proven? We start talking about DNA and, you know, especially in this generation, they start talking about it. You know, some people just don't like Africa. You know, I don't know what to say. Some people were raised differently. We're America, we're just a mixture. So we have the recreation gene. And, you know, I'm going to talk to you about what my mama said about it. And our family said about it. They said we have the recreation gene. And, you know, the color of the, no, that was grandma. We don't have a gene to recreate. No, I think that was school. That was one of them. Africans don't have the skin gene that recreates Caucasian skin unless they have albino on them. But they do have the genes like this that recreates the eyes and the hair color of Caucasians. So they have a strong gene that recreates the blonde hair and the blue eyes. And the blue eyes can last for generations. Right? Yep. And, you know, even marrying Africans, the blue eyes can last for generations. You can have 200-year-old DNA and still have the blue eyes. And they can last for generations. And the blonde hair and the red hair can last for generations. The color of the hair. So you will see more people who have born with blue eyes and dark skin. They are a lot African. You know, light-skinned people are a lot African too, yeah. The thing about it is Native American is the gene that brings back Caucasian skin. But Africa absorbs it. You know, because we have the recreation gene, like you could see somebody, my complexion, or darker or lighter, or, you know, just African DNA, and then they will have Asian eyes. And then Asian will be like, could be 200-300 years old. That happens to Caucasians too. The people with African DNA, that happens too. Asian could be 200-300 years old, but you look at them, they have Asian eyes. There's a difference between Native American eyes and Asian eyes. But you look at them, they have Asian eyes. I have family members with Asian eyes. I said, what's that? Japanese. Japanese or Chinese. I do that. I'm almost finished it. This brush is good. I like it. But the straightening comb is better. But when I get the straightening comb, I'm going to show you. Oof, I got to grease my scalp. I'm going to show you one thing about African American hair. They don't have no oil ducts. And if you oil and grease your hair, it will break out. It will fall off, become dry, brittle, and fall out. Guess I cleaned it after I cut it off. Gotta clean it now. My hair is dry. That's why I have to put oil or grease on it. Oh yeah. Perms. Talk about the perms. We'll talk about that other stuff. Let's talk about the perms. But that's why your hair is the way it is. Because in you is every race on this earth. We were the first humans. The people of Africa were the first humans on this earth. The Native Americans were the second group. The Native Americans is the Caucasian skin. Yeah. That come from Native Americans. That's the only thing about straightening combs there. I don't want to cheese out. I don't know what's wrong with this. Okay. Now let me take this loose. Now the thing about my hair, I'm not going to curl it with the curling iron today. But the thing about it is I have to keep it like this. And the only way to keep it like this is to wear something when I take a shower. Otherwise it'll go back to the way it was. Yeah. People kept saying, why your hair go back so fast? Because I don't cover it when I take a shower. You have to put something over it. You have to put something like a bag or something, yeah. You got to put something over it so the water won't get to it. Well, it'll go back to the way it was. The way you hated it, because this is natural hair. This is natural hair. This isn't perm hair. Perm hair probably will go back and just lay flat and you blow dry it and bring it back, but this is natural hair. It goes back now. It's not nappy, but nappy, curly. My mama called it curly, but it goes back to its original state. If you know, naps is when you don't straighten your hair, when you don't comb your hair. If you don't comb your hair, your hair is nappy. All right, then it can get matted. And that's true for everybody here. And I hear some real crazy stuff up there. Some crazy myths. Caucasian hair don't need to be combed. I said, what? It's going to be matted just like yours. African Americans, Caucasians, everybody can lock their hair and create dreadlocks. Dreadlocks is just uncombed hair. Dreadlocks is not unwashed hair. You know, dreadlocks is not unwashed hair. Anybody can lock their hair. Any color, any race. They can lock their hair. And the reason why they can't lock their hair is that dreadlocks is uncombed hair. And instead of being matted, what you're doing when you lock it, you're taming it, that it'll grow in a direction, that it won't be matted to your head. That's why when people have dreadlocks, some of them don't believe you could get the dreadlocks out without cutting your hair because it's matted. You know, it's matted. It hasn't been combed, but it's locked. It's growing in a direction. You're directing your hair. It's still a style because you're directing your hair. You got to keep twirling it and twirling, 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 and directing your hair where to grow. So you're not going to grow matted to my head like this and all stuck out and matted and uncombed. The hair is going to grow in a straight line and it's washed. You wash it. You better oil it or it'll fall out. You grease it. You don't comb it. And it's anybody can grow dreadlocks. Caucasians, Asians, anybody can grow dreadlocks. Dreadlocks is not that hard to grow. You know, dreadlocks isn't difficult. People tell you that dreadlocks is unwashed hair, and no. A Caucasian can grow dreadlocks. It's not unwashed hair. You know, that myth came from when I thought it was New York that bombed this community because we had never heard of dreadlocks in my community. We heard of it. We call all of our hair dreadlocks, right? You know how you saw my hair in the beginning? We call it dreadlocks. We call our hair dreadlocks because we had never seen dreadlocks before. And so the first time we heard or seen dreadlocks was when they dropped that firebomb on that community for locking their hair, and then the people got on the news and they were talking about dreadlocks. Now Bob Marley had dreadlocks. I didn't pay Bob Marley that much attention. So my older sister might have knew what they were, but we didn't. And I was just looking and everybody was just amazed, and We didn't know why they did that, but you know, it was done because they were black. But and they owned property. I think they had owned a whole block, a block or two, something like that. They're African American, they own property. And the dreadlocks, anybody can lock their hair. Anybody can get a weave. It doesn't matter about your color. Anybody can lock your hair. Anybody can get a weave. Anybody can color their hair. And nowadays, anybody can get contacts. They came out when I was in my 20s. Yeah, anybody can change your eye color. But all that surgical stuff, just get contacts, honey. Because you don't know where all that surgical stuff will lead in the long run that they do. Sound like something come off a science fiction movie. They lock the contacts in your eyes or something. It was a science fiction movie like that when I was little. Lord Jesus. They grease on my shirt, yeah. And so, anybody, excuse me, can lock their hair. Anybody can get weaves, regardless of color. There's no really difference. And locking your hair and getting weaves and nothing you do to your hair. It's just different perms we use. African Americans have memory curl. That's the curl. The curl is memory curl. A memory curl perm is something Caucasians get. Well, African Americans had that too. The Tony perm. They didn't like it. My mama generation kept saying, my mama told me it took too much oil and too much grease. And I didn't know what she was talking about. She said if you wake up and your pillow is oily. And nobody liked the Tony perm. The curl, right, came out later on as the curl, but it's memory perm. All you have to do is take and use different rollers when you do it, and then your hair will come out in the style, and you just wash it, put some grease on it, some oil on it, and your hair will come out in the style. It'll come out in the style. And it's memory curl. You know how Caucasians have curls, and they have this same style for 30 days and 40 days and 60 days to get another perm. Well, that's what that is. That's what the Tony perm is. It's memory curl. It's the same thing. Well, my mama generation didn't like it. It came out again in the curl, in the perm. You know, anybody can get a memory curl perm. Anybody can dreadlock their hair. Anybody can get now. We straighten our hair. Anybody can get braids, plaits. I remember African Americans used to wear a lot of cornrows, and then the movie 10 came out. And that was when I was coming up. And the Caucasian girl had her hair in cornrows. I remember that. Don't make a big deal out of hair. The difference in your hair is that your hair is not straight. It's curly. I won't call it curly. Or poofy or whatever you want to call it. It's not nappy. Because nappy hair means you didn't comb it. And anybody can have nappy hair. It's not about that. It is about your DNA. And the more you have. It's just the way God made it. Right? They're fighting against it. They say, no, no, no. We come from monkeys. We don't come from no Africans. We don't come from no Africans. Africans not the first. We come, but you can't find all the DNA of a human, of every color, of every nationality, in a gorilla. But you can find it in Africans. different communities have different beliefs. But one community has discovered the truth. Right? So your hair is the way it is because you are the pattern for life on this earth. You are the original human. I don't know the story I was going to tell you later on, but I'll tell it to you. This is legend in my family. This is a tribal story, and it's legend. And so, the Africans, well, I didn't understand it because I wasn't in church and reading the Bible back then. I read the Bible, but I didn't read that part of the Bible. But this is the legend story. The Africans, the angels were many colors. And so God had gave the humans power not to mate with them. And the humans, and then the preacher said, I'm trying to say it all. This is a legend from my tribe my grandma was from. And my grandma on mama's side. Well, you never know. Grandma on mama's side, grandma on daddy's side. We're all from Cameroon. And so, in this legend, the Africans would not stop mating with the angels. This is why I read this in the Bible. The Bible account is that the angels started mating with them. And it is true, the angels started that. They did. And so, the Africans, the preacher came, and the preacher said, well, God has given you power. Not power, but I'm just adding to it. Because I can't remember exactly how it went. I just remember the overview. God has given you power that you don't mate with these angels. What's wrong that you can't hear him? And they started talking about the colors of the angels. It was beautiful. The hair color, the skin color, blue skin, green skin. That's how I see it. Their skin color was beautiful, and they wanted their children to be beautiful with these colors. These colors of these colorful people. And they refused to stop mating with them. And so the preacher put up a stick. This is legend. He put up a stick, some kind of something. Either he held the stick or he put up a banner, a wood banner. And he told them to walk under the banner. And as you walk under the banner, God will change, the colors in you, because you're supposed to be brown. Yeah, we're supposed to be African color to Caucasian. Our eyes aren't supposed to be no color than brown. And bright brown, blonde brown, brown. You're supposed to be brown, a totally brown planet. But you refuse to listen. So what's wrong that you can't do what God say do? And so they walked under the banner, and he said, the colors are now in you. And my grandma told me that's where blue eyes come from, red hair, green eyes, all those different color eyes, hazel eyes, because the whole planet is supposed to be brown. But because they would not, they refused because of the colors of the angels. I don't know if the angels any other color or not, but the legend said that they were different colors in my family. because of the colors of the angels, and they inability to leave them alone. They wouldn't leave them alone. Their hard-headedness. That's what happened. And so, probably after Noah, I don't know. It's just legend. And so, babies were born with blue eyes. I don't know what generation. But it was written in our DNA that we have blue-eyed children, that we have green-eyed children, that we have red hair. Some humans have red hair, and that all these colors and all these different colors were included in the DNA of the Africans when the whole planet was supposed to be brown. Now that is legend. Legend is a tribal story. That's not written down. And so that is a legend that was given to our tribe, that my grandma gave to me. Alrighty now. My hair all done. I got on 2 shirts. But it's going to be, yeah, you see the shirt up here. It's going to be warm in the beginning of the evening. And on 2 pair of pants, I'm going to put on 2 pair of socks. Then it's going to drop down, way down, in the 30s. So, I'm going to be hot. Down the bottom, I'm going to be kind of cool up the top. I'm going to be hot down the bottom. And then I have a thick jacket, and I have a sweater, a kind of thin, regular sweater. And so I'm going to be hot. First part of the day, I am going to be hot. Even in these 2 thin shirts, I'm going to be hot. But the second part of the night, I got my sweater and my coat to keep me warm. I'm trying this nail polish out again. Look, I'm going to repaint my nails. I don't like cheap nail polish. And as soon as I get some money, I'm going to the beautician and let them polish my nails, and I'm going to pay for the gel nails. Alrighty now, I got to get finished getting dressed for work. I got to brush my teeth and get finished. Thank you. I am making for breakfast this morning noodle soup. What I made last night. I have some sweet pea shoots. I'm going to put them in the noodles. I did it last night. It was good. I have some pork, some roasted pork, not Asian roasted pork, but roasted pork. I have some noodles, onions, and garlic. So I'm going to make me some noodle soup. I have my bowl of noodle soup here that I'm about to eat with onions and the peas and the pork. And so, Lord, I thank you for this food and all your many blessings and for this day in Jesus' name. So this is the start of my day. And I made me some noodle soup for breakfast. I ate too much water. Okay. Oops. I have not enough pepper in here. Pepper. And I added too much water. But I'm going to try that, those rice noodles, that Vietnamese rice noodle soup I ate. I'm going to try that. That's what I'm going to try. With the bean sprouts and the, what else I had in it? Lord. Everybody manipulates hair, honey. And so, I have this right here of water. Water for the, water for life. Water that brings life and sustains life. God made it that way.
There you go on it. I need a napkin. So good morning once again. And I don't know. This noodle soup is pretty good. These noodles and roasted pork. It's mesquite roasted pork. It's one of those pre-prepared roasted porks. Lord Jesus. I'm on my way to work. I don't have that long, but I see that I put too much water in this because you can't taste the flavor of the noodles. You know, the noodle flavor packet. So I put too much water in it. I don't know what possessed me to do that because I only have one pack in here. I like the taste of the peas. It tastes good. But I hear some broccoli sprouts. But I can't find those. Those are gone in the trash somewhere. Somebody, they gone away. But the pea sprouts I have. So I am also going to fix myself a cup of coffee. You just follow me throughout this day. But I have my camera. I have my camera. And I kept saying I keep saying I'm going to take pictures. I am. But I just wanted to give me something to eat because I woke up hungry this morning. And I better start looking for a job. I'm thinking about the family commission, trying something. Because you know, this is just a temporary job for me. It'll be over by the end of Christmas. By the time Christmas is here, it's job pro temp stuff. Work for a day. Okay, people. I'm almost finished. My roasted pork oodles and noodle soup. Noodles you can mix up with everything. But like I said, everybody manipulates their hair. It's nothing new. Oh my God. And styles, they're for everybody. I think my mama generation, they wore the beehive. Well, everybody wore the beehive. Caucasians, African Americans, everybody wore it. And then they wore regular curly hair. I don't know what those curls are called, but just curly hair. Everybody wore it. None of them wore makeup. I went to two different, I looked through the African American high school And then busing had came, and I looked through the books of the Caucasian high school. That was school that was mostly Caucasian on Mama Day. Nobody will make up. I was like, what? But people wore it. Yes, they did. But not while they were in school. I just was looking through those old 1950 books. I mean 30s and 40s. Some kind of phone call. I don't need to answer right now. I was looking through those books, and nobody had makeup on. Nobody. Brand new people wore it. I don't know what brand African Americans wore. But, you know, farmers had some formula and everybody had... My grandma had a kiosk. But she made leather goods out of... She made leather goods. She made the, what you call them leather? The smooth leather. She had a leather kiosk. Oh, people, what I got to do this morning is take my medication. My sugar meds. You don't drive it on work. Looks like it's going to be a warm, pretty, sunshiny day. And I'm just going to be overdressed. And too cold, too hot. So I'm put on 2 pair of socks. And then when the bottom drop out, I'm going to be cold. But I got a good, thick, pretty winter coat that is cushioned and keeps you warm. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's enough about hair. I just wanted to say that because I don't believe it's a one style for one person. And I do believe that, you know, people with oil ducts take care of their hair differently than people without. So I'm one of those persons that don't have any oil ducts. Most African Americans don't. And of course, oops, let me cut this off. I forget how to cut it off. Wait a minute now. I gotta cut this off. Okay, well, this is better than being off. No, you hear all that static. That's horrible. Figure out how to cut the radio off. Let me try it again. Let's see. Oh, righty now, you can't hear all that music. Oops, I did something wrong. Or open up the CD player. There you go. Alrighty now. You know, the Lord made us all you need to know. You know, I went in church and I had read Matthew, Luke, and and John. You know, I read simple, just those scriptures, the New Testament, and I had never read the Old Testament. I read the book of Revelations. I think I read Adam and Eve. No, I had never read the Old Testament, never. I don't believe I read it. I just read Matthew, Luke, and John, and Psalms, and what you call it? I had never read the Old Testament. And so after I read the Old Testament, and I was in church and I read about the angels, right? I remember that story. No, I didn't. I remember that story now. That was a story he told us when we was young. It was a tribal story. I think from the worships of God, the people who were around the mountain when Moses came. I don't know. I just know it's tribal, and it could come from anywhere. But hair, there's no difference in doing hair. You know, there's not that much difference in hair. Some people say, well, there is a difference in hair. There is a difference in this style is for this group, but nah. We all manipulate our hair to get a style. And sometimes we manipulate our hair the same way. That's with dreadlocks. But you know, people with oil ducks, they have to wash their hair more often than we do. It all depends on the texture of your hair and how it collects dirt. And for that, you got to talk to a hairdresser. Because I might wash my hair every 7 days, and somebody else might wash their hair every 4 days. And then somebody else's hair might have to be washed every 6 days. That's African Americans. Yeah, we don't have to wash our hair every day. If we wash our hair every day, we have to condition it every day, and we have to put oil in it every day. Because our hair will grow brittle and break off. And that's the one thing you don't want it to do. You know. And dreadlocks, anybody can grow them. Just like anybody can get a weave. You know, we manipulate our hair the same way. There's just a difference. African Americans seek to straighten their hair, and Caucasians seek to curl theirs, and people with oil ducks seek to curl their hair. They have straight hair. I never heard of this stuff before. I heard one lady say, dreadlocks are never washed. I never heard of that stuff before. You don't never wash your hair. Not since they bombed those people. They were saying that they didn't wash their hair, they didn't clean up, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. I said, wow, you know. I was a little girl, a teenager or something. They did that. And it was talking like that. And in my community, I don't think they accepted dreadlocks, because dreadlocks was you not combing your hair. Yeah. You're not combing your hair. They accepted the straightening comb, and you know, when you went to the naturalist church, they just combed their hair back in a bun. They didn't straighten their hair, and you know, they didn't straighten their hair. They didn't comb. They combed their hair, but they didn't straighten their hair. They didn't curl it. They just combed it back in a naturalist bun. And I was looking at pictures of way back when, right? And when I was looking at pictures of way back when, I saw that they combed their hair in a natural bun. You know, when the slaves were free, their hair was natural. And I said, and they combed their hair back in a natural bun. Just like the, just like them, right? Just like the naturalists did.
You went to some naturalist church, they covered their head. I forgot to redo my fingernails. When you went to other naturalist church, they didn't cover their head. And this nail polish, you better not redo your fingernails at night, because by the time you wake up in the morning, they're going to be chipped. I hate chipped nails. I'd rather not wear polish. You know? I said, I got to go and get my nails professionally done. I'd rather not wear polish. Well, anyway, there is no real style for any real group of people. Because we're going to style our hair. My mom and them did that. Everybody wore the beehive. Not 5 people. Oh, I forgot to put on my shades. Now I got to put this wine down. Everybody wore the beehive. African Americans, Caucasians, everybody wore the beehive. Everybody curled their hair. All the hairstyles was just alike. You know, I feel sometimes that people make a big deal out of nothing. A big deal out of Caucasians dreading their hair, a big deal out of African Americans curling their hair. Everybody. Memory curl. That's the same thing as the Caucasians, and they get one style and it lasts. That's the same thing. It's memory curl. It's just that it requires oil and not grease. And I remember my sister, when I was young, we had one perm. There was no Dark and Lovely. There was no perm made for no African Americans. It was one Pacific perm that everybody used. Either you use a Tony perm, African Americans didn't use that no more. Revlon, or you straighten your hair. And it was just that simple. Either use a Tony perm, you use Revlon, or you straighten your hair. As if you wanted your hair straight and curly, and that was the style, to curl your hair. And to have straight hair when I was coming up, that was the style. And braids came out. But braids was like an African American hairstyle. And you didn't see Caucasians wearing them until the movie 10. And then they became more accepted. More accepted in society. Oh, shoot. Oh. Yeah. So, it doesn't matter about your hairstyle. And we all just a part of each other. One way or the other. And a lot of African Americans are just racially mixed. And you know, when you see somebody born with bright eyes and they got dark skin or bright eyes, or you know, they are a lot African. And you know, a lot of people are not African. But you know, we're all just African Americans no matter what color our skin is. African Americans, and there's no way around that. We're from Africa and we are Americans. We came here differently. And I was always taught the difference in the color is because we were the first humans on the earth. But you know, people rather say the gorilla, the monkey, the ape. But the DNA traces it back to Adam and Eve being African. Goes back to them. Goes back to one male and one woman. I believe this, right? Because that's what I was taught. So if they had proof or not, I will still believe it. Right? I will still believe it. I will believe what my grandmama taught me. That all life started in Africa. And the reason why my hair is curly and not straight is because I'm African descent. And the colored eyes shows a lot of, I don't know if I'm talking about it, African DNA, because it recreates races, it recreates shapes, it recreates eye color, it recreates hair color. Dang. I'm just not a good parker, and I'm gonna try. It recreates eye color, it recreates hair color, because my hair is curly, because Africa is a pattern for life on the earth. And that's what I was taught, and that's what I believe. It doesn't bother me too much about hair, if I'm permanent or not, but you always want to keep up with the style and what people wearing, and keep yourself, if dreadlocks was the style, you always want to keep up with the style, and you're going to keep up with the tribal style. But everybody should love themselves, their color, where they come from, who they are. And, they shouldn't be all, angry because they see somebody wearing their hair and dreadlocks of another color, angry because they see braids, angry because they see braids in everybody's hair, angry because everybody's getting extensions. Hair is beautiful. It's what God put on our head. It's naturally beautiful. We cry if we lose it, like I cry now, and I went back to natural hair because I wasn't willing to continually take medication and continually perm my hair and continually watch it get thinner than what it is. I had thick, beautiful, natural hair, twice as thick as what you see now. I look at my hair, I touch my hair, feel like a thin covering. I get hair out on the side of my, you have a fit. Love yourself, love your hair. Understand that we are different, but we have a right to look like each other.